Welcome to the Industry Awareness Foundation online podcast, where we highlight, companies earning that A-plus rating
Mm-hmm.
and have been in business for over 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's like giving our listeners a cheat sheet to being in the know
Right.
about these industry titans.
Yeah.
And today we are diving deep into John Howard Company,
Okay.
a business established back in 1970.
Wow.
So get ready to uncover some unexpected products,
Yeah.
military ties, and a reach far wider than you might imagine.
I'm excited.
So what's fascinating about John Howard Company?
Well, what's fascinating is they started with a laser focus on two seemingly, disparate industries, the military and textiles.
Military and textiles, that's a curious pairing.
Yeah.
How did those two worlds collide?
Well, think about the common thread, if you will.
Okay.
Both sectors demand incredibly durable materials and components built to exacting standards.
Yeah.
Uniforms, tents, backpacks, these
Oh.
items need to be tough, reliable, and often meet very specific requirements.
Mhm.
John Howard Company stepped in to fill that need.
So they began with specialized expertise.
They did.
Did they stick to those niches?
Not quite.
Okay.
Over time, they expanded their offerings,
Mm-hmm.
branching out to serve a wider range of customer needs.
All right.
What started as a focus on strength and durability for specific sectors
Right.
evolved into a much broader product line.
Intriguing.
Yeah,
So what are some of the products they're known for?
sure.
Did they stick with the tough as nails materials?
Okay,
Or did things get more, flexible?
let's start with something familiar. Buckles.
Buckles.
You know those things on your backpack?
Okay, buckles not exactly setting my imagination on fire.
Hold on.
Okay.
We're not talking about just any buckles.
All right.
John Howard Company offers everything from basic plastic buckles to magnetic closures to heavy-duty military-grade hardware. It's the sheer variety and specialization that's interesting.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the nuances within a seemingly simple product. What else are they making?
Well, think about the straps on that backpack we were just talking about.
Okay.
John Howard Company also manufactures webbings and tapes,
Mm-hmm.
made from materials like nylon, polypropylene, and polyester.
Okay.
I'm willing to bet you encounter these materials every single day without even realizing it.
Okay. You've got my attention.
Okay.
Give me some examples.
Okay.
Where else do these webbings and tapes pop up?
Seat belts in your car, the handles on shopping bags, even safety harnesses. They all rely on these seemingly simple but incredibly important materials.
You're right.
Yeah,
It's amazing how much we take these materials for granted.
I know.
They're literally everywhere, quietly holding our world together.
It's true.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
It is.
John Howard Company also offers a range of elastics.
Yes.
Elastics.
Mhm.
Now that's a category I'm genuinely curious about.
Okay.
Where do those fit into the picture?
Well, let's hold that thought for a moment.
Okay.
First, I want to introduce you to some of the more unexpected items in their catalog.
Right.
Things that might surprise and delight you.
Surprise and delight. Okay, now you've really piqued my interest.
Fitted.
Let's hear it.
How about hook and loop fasteners?
Okay.
We're talking way beyond Velcro here.
All right.
These fasteners are used in everything from healthcare to aerospace. The applications are incredibly diverse.
I can see how that would be both surprising and delightful.
Yeah.
It's a simple concept with a huge impact.
Right.
What else falls into this category?
Then there's cordage.
Cordage.
We're not just talking basic rope, although they offer that too.
Okay, so not just rope.
Right.
What other forms does this cordage take? What's it used for?
Think climbing gear, decorative crafts, even industrial applications. The strength and versatility of cordage make it a surprisingly adaptable material.
Wow. Their product line is much more diverse than I initially imagined.
It is.
Seems like they've got a hand in so many different industries.
They do.
And we haven't even gotten to zippers yet.
Oh, that's right.
Those might seem mundane,
Yeah.
but think about how many items you use daily that rely on a zipper to function properly.
You got it.
So we've got buckles, webbings, elastics, hook and loop fasteners,
Yep.
cordage, and zippers.
Mm-hmm.
Is that everything? Or are there more hidden gems in their catalog?
There is one more item I think you'll find particularly interesting.
Okay.
Industrial sewing thread.
Industrial sewing. I'll bite.
Right.
What makes that so special?
Well, it's not the kind of thread you'd use for a simple sewing project.
Okay.
This thread is designed for strength and durability,
Mm-hmm.
and it's used in some pretty amazing applications.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, imagine the thread used in firefighter gear.
Okay.
It has to be incredibly strong and resistant to heat and flames.
Right.
Or the thread used in automotive upholstery. It needs to withstand years of wear and tear.
Yeah.
These are situations where the thread absolutely cannot fail.
Now that you mention it, I can see how the right kind of thread would be absolutely crucial in those applications.
It is.
Another one of those hidden components that we rarely think about, but are essential for the products we rely on.
Absolutely.
And if you're intrigued by the world of John Howard Company and want to see the vast array of textile products they offer, you can visit their website at johnhowardcompany.com.
It's a great resource.
That's johnhowardcompany.com.
Uh-huh.
Be sure to check it out if you're interested in learning more about the materials and components that make up so many of the products we use every day.
It's fascinating stuff.
But before you go,
Yeah.
there's one more thing I want to touch on.
Okay.
Earlier, you mentioned that John Howard Company started with a focus on the military.
I did!
Do they still offer products for that sector?
Absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, they specialize in something called Berry-compliant hardware.
Berry-compliant hardware. What does that even mean?
It means that their hardware meets specific infrared reflectance requirements
Okay.
set by the U.S. military.
Infrared reflectance. Why is that important for the military?
Think about camouflage and stealth technology.
Oh.
Materials that reflect infrared light in a certain way
Okay.
can make it much harder for enemies to detect soldiers and equipment using night vision or heat-seeking devices.
So it's not just about having tough buckles and webbings.
Right.
It's also about using materials with specific properties that can give soldiers an advantage in the field.
Exact.
That's pretty fascinating.
It is.
It highlights how crucial materials science is to defense technology.
Absolutely.
And speaking of specific needs,
Yeah.
John Howard Company isn't just about selling products off the shelf.
Right.
They also offer a range of custom services.
They do.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What kind of custom services do they provide?
Well, they can do custom weaving, printing, packaging, and even labeling.
Wow.
Basically, if you have a unique need, they can work with you to develop a solution.
That's impressive.
It is.
Sounds like they go above and beyond to meet their clients' needs. And they also have a custom cutting service with quick turnaround times and competitive rates.
That's right.
So they're not just a product supplier, they're a solution provider.
Absolutely.
That's a valuable distinction.
It is.
It speaks to their commitment to being a true partner to their clients.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've learned about John Howard Company's history, their surprisingly diverse range of products, and their commitment to providing custom solutions.
Uh-huh.
But before we wrap up part one of this deep dive,
Okay.
there's one more product I want to circle back to.
Which one is that?
You mentioned elastics earlier,
I did.
and I'm really curious to learn more about how they fit into the picture.
Yes. Elastics.
Yeah.
They might not seem as glamorous as military hardware or industrial sewing thread,
Okay.
but trust me, they're just as fascinating.
I'm ready to be convinced.
Good.
Let's dive into the world of elastics in part two of our deep dives into John Howard Company.
Sounds good to me. Welcome back to our deep dive into John Howard Company.
I'm excited to pick up where we left off.
Yeah.
We were just about to unravel the mystery of elastics.
Yes, elastics.
Okay.
They may not seem as exciting as some of the other products we've discussed, but they play a crucial role in so many industries.
Okay, I'm all ears. Convince me why elastics deserve a spot on this deep dive.
Well, for starters, let's dispel the myth that elastic is just another word for rubber bands.
Okay.
John Howard Company offers a diverse range of elastic materials, each with its own unique properties and applications.
Well, I'm intrigued. Give me some examples of where these different types of elastics come into play.
Think about the waistband of your pants or the cuffs on your sweatshirt.
Okay.
They need to be flexible and comfortable, but also durable enough to withstand repeated stretching and washing.
I see your point. Those are things I never really think about,
Right.
but they're essential for making clothing functional and comfortable.
Exactly. And that's just one small example.
Okay.
John Howard Company's elastics are also used in medical devices,
Right.
sports equipment, and even aerospace applications.
Wow, that's quite a range. I
Wow.
would have guessed elastics were so versatile.
It all comes down to the specific properties of each type of elastic material.
Okay.
Some are designed for high stretch and recovery, others for durability, and some even for resistance to heat and chemicals.
So it's about finding the right elastic for the right job.
Precisely. And that's where John Howard Company's expertise comes in. They can help you select the perfect elastic material for your specific needs, whether you're creating a simple clothing component or a complex piece of industrial equipment.
Okay, so we've covered elastics. What other hidden heroes of the material world does John Howard Company offer?
Well, we've talked about webbings and tapes,
Right.
but we haven't really explored the incredible variety within those categories.
You mean it's not just a simple strip of nylon?
Not at all.
Okay.
There are different weaves, thicknesses, and coatings, each designed to meet specific performance requirements.
Okay, I'm curious. Give me some examples of how these variations translate into real-world applications.
Let's take nylon webbing as an example. A lightweight, tightly woven nylon webbing might be used for a backpack strap,
Oh.
while a heavy-duty abrasion-resistant nylon webbing would be better suited for cargo tie-downs or safety harnesses.
So the same basic material can be transformed to serve completely different purposes.
Exactly. It all comes down to understanding the properties of the material and manipulating them to achieve the desired outcome.
And I imagine John Howard Company has a deep understanding of those properties after over 50 years in the business.
Absolutely. They've got the experience and expertise to help you choose the right webbing or tape for your specific application.
You know, it's fascinating to think about how these seemingly simple materials are the building blocks of so many complex products.
It really is. And when you start to understand the intricacies of material science and the role it plays in our daily lives, it's hard not to be impressed by the ingenuity behind it all.
And companies like John Howard Company are at the forefront of that ingenuity, constantly innovating and developing new materials and manufacturing techniques.
They are indeed. Now, speaking of innovative materials, remember that industrial sewing thread we touched on earlier?
Uh-huh.
I think it deserves a little more attention.
You're right. We kind of glossed over that one. What makes industrial sewing thread so special?
As I mentioned before, this isn't your average sewing thread.
Okay.
It's designed to withstand extreme conditions and meet rigorous performance standards. We talked about firefighter gear.
Right.
But it's also used in things like medical devices, automotive upholstery, and even military gear.
What kind of thread would they use for something like firefighter gear?
And they would likely use a thread made from Nomex,
Okay.
a fiber known for its heat and flame resistance.
Okay.
This ensures that the thread itself won't compromise the firefighter's protection in extreme heat.
Wow. So the thread itself is a crucial part of the safety equipment.
Exactly, and it's not just about fire resistance. Industrial sewing thread also needs to be incredibly strong to withstand abrasion chemicals and UV exposure depending on the application.
So again, it's about choosing the right thread for the job. And John Howard Company has the expertise to guide those choices.
Precisely, they offer a wide range of industrial sewing threads, each designed to meet the specific demands of different industries.
It's amazing to think that something as seemingly simple as thread can play such a critical role in so many important fields.
It truly is, from medical devices to automotive upholstery to military gear. Industrial sewing thread is quietly holding our world together.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. John Howard Company seems to specialize in those essential behind-the-scenes components that we often take for granted.
That's a great observation. They may not be the most glamorous or well-known company, but their products and services are quietly impacting countless industries and aspects of our daily lives.
And I bet most people have no idea that these everyday objects rely on the expertise and innovation of a company like John Howard Company.
It's true, we often focus on the finished product without considering all the individual components and the companies that make them possible.
Well, hopefully this deep dive is shedding some light on the fascinating world of material science and the unsung heroes like John Howard Company who are driving innovation in this field.
I believe it is. It's been a pleasure exploring the company's history, product range, and commitment to customer service. And I hope our listeners are finding it just as fascinating as we are.
I'm sure they are. And if you're intrigued by what you've heard so far, be sure to visit johnhowardcompany.com.
That's right. You can explore their vast array of textile products and see how they connect to various industries. It's a great way to continue your deep dive into the world of John Howard Company.
And who knows, you might even discover some surprising connections to products you use every day.
Now that we've explored the world of elastics and delved back into industrial sewing thread, let's shift gears a bit and revisit John Howard Company's roots in the military sector.
Sounds good to me. We talked earlier about their Berry-compliant hardware.
Right.
But I'm curious to learn more about what that actually means in practice.
Well, as we mentioned before, Berry compliance refers to a set of standards for infrared reflectants that are used by the U.S. military.
And those standards are all about making soldiers and equipment harder to detect using night vision or heat-seeking devices.
Exactly. It's a crucial aspect of camouflage and stealth technology in modern warfare.
But what does that actually look like in terms of products?
Sure,
What kind of hardware does John Howard Company offer that meets these Berry compliance standards?
they have a whole range of buckles, snaps, loops, and other hardware components that are specifically designed to meet these
So it's
requirements.
not just about the material itself.
No,
It's also about the design and construction of the hardware.
precisely. They have to use specific materials, coatings, and manufacturing processes to ensure that the hardware meets the required infrared reflectance levels.
That sounds incredibly precise and technical.
It is, and it highlights the importance of material science and engineering in military applications.
I can imagine that even a slight variation in the material or design could have significant consequences in a combat situation.
Absolutely. That's why companies like John Howard Company that specialize in Berry-compliant hardware are so valuable to the military.
They provide the expertise and reliability that are essential for ensuring the safety and effectiveness of our troops.
Exactly. It's a testament to their commitment to quality and their deep understanding of the unique demands of the military sector.
You know, it's easy to overlook the importance of these behind-the-scenes components, but they can literally be the difference between life and death in some situations.
I completely agree. It's a reminder that even the smallest details can have a profound impact on the bigger picture.
And it speaks volumes about John Howard Company's dedication to providing products and services that meet the highest standards of performance and reliability.
Absolutely. It's clear that they take their responsibility to their clients very seriously, whether they're supplying hardware for military gear or elastics for clothing.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into John Howard Company.
We have.
We've explored their history, their diverse product range, their commitment to customer service, and their expertise in specialized areas like Berry-compliant hardware.
It's been a fascinating journey, and I hope our listeners are starting to see the hidden world of material science and the crucial role it plays in our everyday lives.
Me too. And if you're interested in learning more about John Howard Company and their products, be sure to visit their website at johnhowardcompany.com.
You can see a vast array of textile products that have fit the need of a wide variety of industries for over 50 years.
And who knows, you might even be inspired to take a closer look at the materials and components that make up the objects you use every day.
We'll be back soon with part 3 of our deep dive into John Howard Company, where we'll explore some of the unexpected and innovative ways their products are being used to shape the world around us.
Until then, keep an eye out for those hidden heroes of material science. You might be surprised by what you discover. Welcome back to the deep dive. We're wrapping up our exploration of John Howard Company, and I'm excited to bring this all together.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, hasn't it? From seemingly simple buckles to the intricacies of Berry-compliant hardware, we've uncovered a world of materials and components that most people never even think about.
Exactly. We've talked about their products, their history, and their commitment to serving specialized industries. But what strikes me most is how John Howard Company operates as a true partner to its clients.
Yeah, that's a key insight. They're not just fulfilling orders.
Right.
They're actively collaborating to find solutions.
Right.
Their deep understanding of materials and their willingness to customize sets them apart.
It's not just about selling a product off the shelf. It's about understanding the client's needs and finding the perfect fit. That kind of partnership fosters innovation and builds long-term success.
Absolutely, it does. And it's inspiring to see a company with over 50 years of experience still embracing that approach.
Right.
It's a testament to their dedication to quality and their genuine passion for what they do.
It really is in a world that often prioritizes speed and efficiency over everything else. It's refreshing to see a company that values those long-term relationships and a deep understanding of their clients' needs.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the most important takeaways from our deep dive into John Howard Company. They've shown us that even in a world of rapidly evolving technology and ever-increasing demands, there's still a place for companies that prioritize partnership expertise and a commitment to finding the perfect solution.
You know, as we wrap up this episode, I want to encourage our listeners to think about the bigger picture. We've spent this deep dive exploring the world of materials and components, things that often go unnoticed, but are absolutely essential to our daily lives.
Think about it, from the clothes you're wearing, to the furniture you're sitting on, to the technology you're using. There are countless materials and components working behind the scenes to make it all possible.
And behind those materials are companies like John Howard Company, quietly driving innovation and ensuring that the products we rely on meet the highest standards of quality and performance.
It's a hidden world, but it's a world full of fascinating stories and incredible ingenuity, and it's a world that John Howard Company has been shaping for over 50 years.
Well, if you're interested in learning more about John Howard Company and the vast array of textile products they offer, Be sure to visit their website at johnhowardcompany.com.
You can explore their product line, learn about their history, and discover the countless ways they're connecting to industries you might never have imagined.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into John Howard Company. Thank you for joining us.
And thank you for listening to the Industry Awareness Foundation online podcast.